Let's journey back to the Gupta Empire, spanning from the early 4th to the 6th century. Historians often hail this era as India's golden age. This period was marked by a profound sense of peace and prosperity, which laid the perfect foundation for incredible cultural and intellectual advancements. The Gupta rulers were enthusiastic patrons of the arts, sciences, paintings, textiles, architecture, and literature. Imagine artists crafting exquisite sculptures and paintings, like those found in the famous Ajanta caves. Picture grand palaces and purpose-built temples, catering to both Hindu and Buddhist faiths, gracing the landscape. But it wasn't just about aesthetics. The Guptas were visionary employers. They established free hospitals for their people, ensuring access to healthcare. Monasteries and universities flourished, nurturing knowledge and wisdom. And then, there's the world-changing invention of the number zero. Yes, you heard that right. This remarkable period saw the birth of scientific and mathematical achievements that continue to shape our world today. Aryabhata, one of the era's luminaries, made astonishingly accurate calculations about pi and correctly determined that a solar year spans 365 days. Let's journey back to the Gupta time in ancient India, when mathematics and astronomy were flourishing long before Nalanda University faced destruction. It's the 5th century CE during the Gupta Empire, and in the city of Patliputra, a brilliant mind named Aryabhat emerges. His most famous work, the Aryabhatiya, is like a treasure chest of knowledge. It's divided into 4 chapters, containing 121 verses that explore everything from basic arithmetic to complex concepts like algebra, trigonometry, and even planetary motion. This ancient masterpiece laid the foundation for modern mathematics thanks to Aryabhat's introduction of the decimal system and the revolutionary idea of zero. But Aryabhat didn't stop with numbers. He reached for the stars. Aryabhat proposed a heliocentric model of the solar system long before such ideas were widely accepted. He suggested that the Earth spins on its axis, causing the transition between day and night. He even calculated the length of a year with astonishing accuracy. So the next time someone questions the scientific advancement of astronomy in ancient India, you can confidently share this incredible story.
Why the Gupta Empire is considered the golden age of Indian history, let's explore why it earned the prestigious title. During this period, renowned scholars like Aryabhat, Brahmagupta, and Kalidas emerged. Nalanda University became a center of education, attracting scholars from all around the world. Aryabhat introduced the decimal system and approximation of pi accurately. He also proposed the Earth's rotation. Varahamihira made advancements in mathematics and weather forecasting. Brahmagupta developed rules for arithmetic operations and concept of zero. Kalidasa's play and the Kavyamala compilation showcased Indian literary brilliance. Puranas preserved history and religious beliefs. Architecture flourished as seen in Ajanta-Ellora caves with stunning frescoes and sculptures, and the Iron Pill of Delhi, which stands rust-free even today. Dilation, or general theory of relativity, was introduced by Albert Einstein in the year 1950, which in simple words means that time becomes slower near objects with higher gravity when compared to Earth, and time becomes faster when the gravity is lower. For example, if you go to a planet which is 700 times bigger than Earth, and the gravity is also 700 times more than that of Earth, then 12 hours that you spend there would be equivalent to 24 hours spent on Earth. So this is what Albert Einstein had to say. But do you know that this concept was mentioned in Sri Bhagavad Purana in 10th century CE? So let's look at that short story. So this story is of King Kukudmi, who ruled the kingdom of Kukasthali. He was a righteous and noble ruler who was known for his virtue and wisdom. Kukudmi had a daughter called Revati, who was very charming and beautiful. So one day Kukudmi decided that now it's time for Revati to get married. And he shortlisted 11 grooms. But he was confused that which of the groom would be suitable for his daughter. So he decided to go to Brahmalok and seek advice from Lord Brahma, who is founder of the universe. So once he traveled to Brahmalok, he witnessed a grand event where Apsaras were dancing. So he decided to wait and approach Lord Brahma once the event is over. When he went to Lord Brahma, he asked Lord Brahma that I have 11 grooms. Can you please tell me which of these is most suitable for my daughter Revati? Lord Brahma laughed and said, you are here and your entire kingdom has been demolished. The people that you know on earth have died, so all the 11 grooms don't exist any longer. Kukudmi was surprised that what exactly is Lord Brahma talking about. So Lord Brahma told him that while you and Revati have only spent few moments in Brahmalok, thousands of years have passed on earth. So now all the worthy grooms are already dead. But the most suitable groom for Revati has already appeared on earth. Lord Balram, the elder brother of Lord Krishna, who is the avatar of Lord Vishnu. Kukudmi and Revati were astounded by this revelation. They realized that the time difference was so vast that it had to lead to a significant change in the situation. Feeling deeply obliged to Lord Brahma, they returned to Earth. So here we can definitely argue that if the story is real or not. But what's more important is to understand that how easily ancient sages have explained the concept of time dilation through a very simple story. It's so easy for a child, four-headed Brahma, which is the Brahma who is responsible for the creation of the universe that we live in. So while Lord Krishna was in Dwarka, four-headed Brahma decided to meet him. And when he met the doorman at Lord Krishna's court, he was asked that, who are you and what is your purpose? And he said that I am Brahma and I'm here to meet Lord Krishna. Doorman went to Lord Krishna and told him that Brahma is here to meet you. Lord Krishna asked him, which Brahma? Doorman went back to Lord Brahma and asked that Lord Krishna is asking, which Brahma are you? And he said, don't you know that I am the four-headed Brahma responsible for this universe? The doorman went back to Lord Krishna and informed him that it's the four-headed Brahma. When the Brahma arrived in front of Lord Krishna, he asked Lord Krishna that how can you question that which Brahma it is? There is only one Brahma and that's me. Lord Krishna at that time ordered his doorman to call all the Brahmas, and all of the Brahmas came in. One Brahma had one head, another Brahma had 10 heads, then 100, then 1 million, and then 10 million. So there were millions of Brahma who were there in the court of Krishna in Dwarka. The four-headed Brahma was surprised that who are they? And Lord Krishna said that they are also Brahmas. There are multiple universes which are governed by different Brahmas. So you see that Brahma with 10,000 heads, his universe is far bigger than your universe. And that's when Lord Brahma realized that he is not the only one. So this is just a story in Srimad Bhagavatam which describes that how great is Lord Krishna, and Mahavishnu Avatar exists in multiple universes at the same time. But you also need to understand that this story actually depicts that there were a lot of Brahmans which were governed by Lord Brahma, which shows the concept of multi-universe in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So these might only be stories, or maybe there is some reality in this. But whatever it is, it's not strange to most of us. Even ancient civilizations like Mayans, Egyptian, and Sumerian have mentioned it in some or other form. But when we talk about Hinduism, it's not only a concept, but also has been explained very vividly with the help of stories. In order to experience interstellar travel, what's most important is the mode of transport. So first, let's talk about that. Vimanas. Vimanas are considered as concept spaceships, capable of traveling through time and space. The most famous Vimana in Dwapar Yuga was of Shalvraj. It is known as Shubh Viman, and it was very powerful. Salvakumar used this Viman to attack Dwarka when Sri Krishna and Balram were not there, and he did considerable damage to the city. Another mention in Mahabharata is a famous Viman called Garud, and it was used by Sri Krishna at many occasions, especially during the war with Narkasur. In Ramayana as well, we know that there is a concept of Pushpak Viman, which was used by Ravana. And to your surprise, recently in Sri Lanka, there have been a lot of places which are speculative to be a runway for the Pushpak Viman. So we have looked at multiple concepts like multi-universe, time dilation, aliens, interstellar travel. But these are just the concepts. But there is something else which is mentioned. Why exactly this information was lost, and why we are rediscovering something which was already done by Indian scholars 8,000 years ago. So in Hinduism, we have a concept of 4 yugas: Satyug, Tretyug, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Satyug is the age of truth and righteousness. It is considered the most virtuous and peaceful of the yugas. However, it is still a further decline in righteousness, an increase in Kali Yuga. This is the age that belongs to Kali, and instead of progressing. Erwin Schrödinger, Werner Heisenberg, Niels Bohr, and Nikola Tesla. You may be familiar with their contributions in the field of science. What's interesting is all of them acknowledge the influence of Hindu scriptures in shaping their understanding of everything, from the tiniest atom to the vast universe. But if we talk about Indians, vast universe. But if we talk about Indians, do we really give that much value to our scriptures? To the sages, Maharishis, who have explained such complex concepts in such a simple language and stories.
அகத்தியரே, ஓரறிவு உள்ளவைகள் என்னென்ன?
புல், பூண்டு, மரம், செடி, கொடி முதலிய தாவர வர்க்கங்கள்.
ஈரறிவு உள்ளவைகள்?
தண்ணீரில் வாழும் ஜீவராசிகள்.
மூன்றறிவு?
நிலத்திலே ஊர்ந்து செல்லும் எறும்பு, கரையான், நத்தை முதலியன.
நான்கறிவு?
பறந்து செல்லும் பறவை இனங்கள்.
ஐந்தறிவு?
மண்ணிலே நடந்து செல்லும் ஆடு, மாடு மற்றும் விலங்கினங்கள்.
ஆறறிவு?
மனத்தினால் எதையும் நினைத்து பார்க்கும் சக்தி உடைய மனிதனே ஆறறிவு படைத்தவன்.
மலையில் நிற்கும் முருகப்பெருமானின் சிலைக்கு மிகப்பெரிய சக்தி உள்ளது. இந்த கோவில் சிலையில் செவ்வாய் கிரகத்தின் நேரடி பார்வை விழுகிறது. நவ கிரகங்களின் சக்தியை கொடுக்கும் நவபாஷாணத்தால் 18 சித்தர்களில் ஒருவரான போகர் சித்தரால் இந்த சிலை உருவாக்கப்பட்டது. நவம் என்றால் 9, பாஷாணம் என்றால் விஷம் என்று பொருள். நவபாஷாணம் என்பது 9 வகையான விஷங்களை சித்தர்கள் முறைப்படி கட்டுவதாகும். இது சித்தர்களால் மட்டுமே சாத்தியம். 2800 வருடங்களுக்கு முன்பு இந்த சிலை உருவாக்கப்பட்டது. தமிழ்நாட்டு பாஷாண சிலைகள் உள்ளன. பழனி மலைக்கோவில், கொடைக்கானல் அருகே உள்ள பூம்பாறை, மற்றொன்று தேவிப்பட்டினம். இது பூம்பாறை தான் போகரால் உருவாக்கப்பட்ட நவபாஷாண சிலை மற்றும் பூம்பாறை தான் போகரால் உருவாக்கப்பட்ட நவபாஷாண
சிலைகள் 64னையும் ஏய உணர்விக்கும் என் அம்மை தூய உருப்பளிங்கு போல்வாள் என் உள்ளத்தினுள்ளே இருப்பாள் இங்கு வராது இடர்.
Is considered the golden age of India. The Gupta Empire, which lasted from 320 to 550 CE, covered much of the Indian subcontinent. This era saw significant advancements in science, mathematics, and astronomy. Famous mathematician Aryabhata wrote his groundbreaking work during this time. The period is renowned for its exquisite Hindu temple architecture. Gupta art, especially sculptures, is celebrated for its detailed craftsmanship. Sanskrit literature flourished, including the works of Kalidasa. The Guptas issued gold coins with intricate designs, reflecting their prosperity. Educational institutions like Nalanda University attracted students from all over Asia. The empire's trade networks extended to the Roman Empire and Southeast Asia. Despite its decline, the Gupta Empire left a lasting legacy on Indian
India.
It's the golden age of India.
Okay, India. This period of history truly proves the passage, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Since, as the Western Roman Empire was starting to fade into history, the Gupta Empire had established its rule over northern India, and set forth numerous advancements that the modern world as we know it could not have been built without. And yet, not many in the West really know about this era of Indian history. So, what exactly happened during this period that made it India's golden age? First started to grow under the reign of Chandragupta, the first one, not to be confused with the one who came before him. Chandragupta was not the first king of the Gupta dynasty, but he did rapidly expand the kingdom and conquered enough of the smaller states in the area to call himself the Maharajadhiraja, or the king of great kings, with his son Samudragupta and his later descendants expanding his realm even further. Wow, Bhatta theorized that the earth was indeed round, prosperity, and that saw a huge expanse in all fields from science to literature. Just as an example, by looking at lunar eclipses, mathematician Aryabhata theorized that the Earth was indeed round and spun on its axis, something Eratosthenes had already worked out half a millennium prior, but give him a break, news was very slow back then. It was also worked out that the planets don't shine from their own light, but rather by reflecting the light of the sun. Of course, had they wanted to measure the circumference of the spherical Earth, they did also used to this day was invented in India, having spread to the west via Arabia, hence as to why we call them Arabic numerals, and proving as useful there and in Europe as in India. Beforehand, Roman numerals were the norm, but if you're not used to using them, they can be a bit clunky, since you have to look very closely at the order of the letters to determine their magnitude that you need. That's not even to mention how the old Roman system stopped adding new characters at once like this, but put it in Roman numerals and it looks like someone left the microwave on. The Kurukshetra War, and philosophical discussion about the 4 goals of life, or Purushartha. At around 200,000 lines, The Mahabharata comprises roughly 1.8 million words, described as the longest poem ever written. All this isn't even to mention the works of Kalidasa, described as the greatest playwright of Indian history, and many others. Okay, fine, and the Kama Sutra. Between the scientific
டேபிள்லாம் அப்படி தான் அரேஞ்ச் செய்யப்பட்டது. அதன் பிறகு இருக்குப்பா இந்த அணுவால தான் எல்லா உயிரினங்களும் அப்படிங்கிறவர் சொல்றத யாருமே ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளலை. ஸோ இந்த அணு கொள்கை அப்படிங்கிறத கொண்டு வந்தார். அரிஸ்டாட்டல் தான் உயர்ந்தவர் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு எதிர்பார்ப்பு அணுவா இருக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்றார்.